In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to remove your crank and bottom bracket for the purposes of installing a mid-drive motor such as the Bafang BBS series mid-drives. Alright, so we have, this is a Gravity, just a standard mountain bike frame, and we have our crank set, the Truvative crank set. And we're going to pull off the crank arms first, and what we'll need for that is an 8mm Allen wrench. Okay, so it's my 8mm Allen wrench, and I'm just going to remove, take out this side and then the opposite side. On there pretty good. And we'll just set those in. Alright, so we have that bolt removed. The chain ring and crank does not come off easily, so we need a special tool to remove the crank set. And that special tool can look something like this. This happens to be a Park Tools CWP-7 crank puller. And the way that it works is we're going to thread this larger part into a hole here on the center of the chain ring. So I'm just going to thread that on. Alright, so I have that threaded on now, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the central part of that crank puller until it's snug. Okay, so now essentially what we're doing is we're pressing out the chain ring and the crank set. So I'm going to grab a crescent wrench and I'm just going to turn the inner portion of this tool, and that'll push out the crank set. And pull that back out. We're going to back that guy back out again. And I'm going to repeat on the other. Alright, so we have both cranks pulled, and actually this happens to be a spline drive. So now, to remove the bottom bracket, the internal part, we need another specialized tool. And this is a Park Tool BBT-22 bottom bracket tool. Okay, so that is going to go in there, and then we'll spin this. Now the direction of the spin to remove it is to turn it on the right side of the bike. We're going to turn clockwise. On the left side of the bike, we're going to turn counterclockwise to remove. And we're actually going to remove the left side first because that's the loose piece of the bottom bracket. Once the left side piece is removed, then we'll remove the right side, and that'll take out the whole bottom bracket. Another tip when you're removing the bottom bracket is how to actually use the tool. Oftentimes you may be tempted to just use like a large crescent wrench or maybe even a socket set. This is takes about a 1-inch socket size. This thread or this part here. What and the problem with using just a mechanical tool is that the tool itself, the teeth of the tool will tend to kind of slip out as you're applying force to it. And so one technique that I've used is to actually use an impact wrench in combination with this tool. And that allows you to get positive, good force this way, and also turn it hard enough to release it, because oftentimes it can be difficult to get out. So I'll use an impact wrench, a fairly large one. You can use a smaller one depending on what you have. I've got a very large one that automotive mechanics might use. So I'll use that in conjunction with a socket, and that'll help me easily remove this bottom bracket. So here's the setup that I'm going to use here. This is my impact wrench, 1-inch socket, and my BBT22 tool. And again, left side first, we're going to spin counterclockwise. Okay. And then on the right side, clockwise.